You gotta make a video about John Krasinski and SGN.
Now, if you don't know about Some Good News, or SGN for short, it's a news show entirely dedicated to good news.
We're watching episode 3 of Some Good News and Madeline just started crying.
It's quite touching.
Hey, Mom.
Hey,
What did you like so much about it?
that Hamilton Zoom thing, that was really impressive.
Krasinski had quite the surprise for the little girl.
John Krasinski, who most likely you know from The Office,
Hey, big tuna.
or as Jack Ryan, has joined the Hollywood at Home movement that's taking place right now on YouTube.
Good evening, everybody, even though it is very clearly the afternoon, and welcome to SGN.
Stylistically, Some Good News mimics the late night shows, especially what they look like now on YouTube. He sits at a desk, he wears a suit, at least the top half of a suit, and he delivers a monologue similar to a newscaster.
And now for some good news.
He even has the sign that was made by his kids
I like your sign.
Thank you very much. My daughters did it, by the way.
that's become a staple of the new at-home late night.
But this show's different because it's not the internet version of a current show, it's a brand new show.
As of the filming of this video, there have been 3 episodes of Some Good News, and all of them feature a rundown of positive news stories sourced from social media. They also feature live gifting moments, similar to what we see on Ellen, and every time you watch these, they just hit you right in the feels.
Maybe you could cover the cell phone bills of every nurse and doctor in America for a month. Their response? How about 3?
He's had celebrity cameos from Robert De Niro, Steve Carell, David Ortiz, his wife Emily Blunt, and the entire cast of Hamilton. But even more impactful are his non-celebrity cameos.
Aubrey!
Hi.
John is highlighting hometown heroes at the front line of the pandemic,
Hi, guys.
those who have beaten it, and people like us who are trying to stay sane while being stuck inside.
Even indoors in the weird world of isolation, good news was happening everywhere.
He's showing us the good in otherwise seemingly dark times.
Remember that no matter how hard things get, there is always good in the world.
Okay, since the show started about 3.5 weeks ago, he has almost 2 million subscribers, 1.2 million likes, and 30 million views across those 3 episodes. That's insane.
Now, maybe somebody can fact check this, but that's gotta be one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube ever. So most likely, we're gonna see a lot more traditional celebrities join the platform, and we feel like John did it really well. So we wanted to examine what John's doing right and give you 3 reasons we think Some Good News is the best show to come out of the Hollywood at Home movement. All right, point number 1. The show is very YouTube. So the biggest difference between a TV show and a show on YouTube is that the audience can actually interact with the show on YouTube. It's social media. It's a 2-way communication between the creator and the audience.
In all sincerity, it is an absolute joy to see you all having as much fun with this show as we are.
When a lot of TV shows or traditional celebrities come onto YouTube, they don't really take that into account. They're not incorporating the audience, they're not really building community, they're still just making programming and saying, here, watch this. But what John's doing is he's including the community in his programming.
Yesterday, we were inspired by a man named John Krasinski.
I know, it is a tough one. It's pronounced Krasinski.
So he's not necessarily making the show for us, he's making the show with us.
I'm very well aware I am only delivering the good news. You are the good news.
It reminds us of when Will Smith joined YouTube, and it seemed like he'd been on the platform for years, and he was just doing everything right.
That's our first 100,000 subs.
People take to YouTube to make the shows that they want to see themselves in the world.
For years now, I've been wondering, why is there not a news show dedicated entirely to good news?
You don't do it for the money on YouTube because that may never come. You have to do it because you care about what you're making, and you can tell that this show resonates with John and is the show he wanted to see in the world.
Point number 2, whoever's producing this show is doing a really good job at making segments that are highly shareable. In episode 2, the cast of Hamilton sings a song to this girl who didn't get to go see Hamilton because all the theaters are closed.
There was one little girl whose dream could not come true.
And it's this amazing moment to see her reaction and the emotion on her face when she gets to see the whole cast singing to her. is this incredible moment, and I probably shared that with like 10 or 12 people. So the show itself has these moments that are built for virality, they're built to be shared, they're built to have conversations. All right, I'm currently watching John Krasinski's Some Good News Prom, where he's bringing on like a bunch of celebrities. He already had Chance the Rapper on, co-hosting it with Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight, and now he's getting a live performance from the Jonas Brothers, and there's almost 200,000 people watching. Look at how many people are commenting on this. All right, now we got Billie Eilish on the stream. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Billie Eilish is in the house.
This is pretty impressive, man. There's over 200,000 people watching. Whoever these producers are, they have to be some of the best internet producers I've ever seen.
I think it just broke.
Another interesting thing here is that this is a brand new show. So now when we're watching the late night shows be produced from home, there's something missing.
Telling jokes with nobody just looks like hostage footage.
Why are we even here? To deafening silence.
It feels kind of off and like a lesser version of what they were making before.
How are you handling your isolation?
I miss the laughter. I miss the joy.
But because this show is brand new in the stay-at-home era, we have nothing to compare it to. We're just watching a really good show.
Clearly, John isn't the first person to try and make a show about good news.
What's Good is a weekly news show strictly about good news.
And we weren't the first either, but John is finding the most success with it.
I mean, there's Instagram pages with like fun and good inspiring stories on them.
We are by no means the first, so when you're looking around the internet for a smile, please check out any of the good news sites.
But now we have John Krasinski as the face of positivity and the source of good news in a world where we are inundated with bad news. And point number 3, the Jim Halpert effect.
He's always looking at the camera like this. What is that?
John Krasinski has just the most wonderful presence. He can just sort of give you a look, and he's funny.
The same look that we're used to him giving us on The Office works now. He was the character that broke the third wall the most and found common ground with the audience and made them smile and laugh at how ridiculous this all was. And he's doing it again now on Some Good News when we all really need it. He brought back Jim Halpert at the exact right time.
Jim, James, Jimothy.
I think that's a huge part of why he's the perfect person to deliver us good news, because we already have a good feeling about him.
He is the perfect person. To me, I think it would be like a great thing to have once a week on at TV at night.
Yeah, I mean, it could end up on TV, right? It might.
For me, I feel like if this ends up on television, it is more of a step backwards than it is a step forward. The way this show is building is very community focused. It's very with the audience. The second you put it on television, you go one step removed from the audience and you're not actually having a communication anymore.
I actually think regardless of whether it ends up on TV or not, what will happen and what's already happening is John Krasinski has leveled up his brand, and he's not just obviously Jack Ryan or Jim from The Office. He's now this host who can sit at a desk and be like America's dad.
All right, so that's it for our review of Some Good News and for our video this week. Like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and let us know your thoughts on Some Good News in the comments. Also, tell us about your favorite Office episode. And John, if you're watching this, we'd love to collaborate. So maybe we could help design some thumbnails or work on some titles, or maybe we could host a segment. Maybe we could do something like give a riddle to everyone one week and call it Some Good Clues. Maybe we could tell you about our favorite song of the week and call it Some Good Tunes. Maybe we could talk about the most viral good news story and call it Some Good Views. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, but let us know. We'd love to help. Peace!